Boom it.
Boom.
Boom, boom. Welcome to Cast and Crank Podcast. Today we have Jared, and I fuck your name up your last name.
Swafford.
Swafford.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke.
Brasher.
Yeah, Thrasher. This one was really different today because they are doing a trip pretty much through California. They're to explain what you're doing, then I can say what we did. So tell us what you're doing.
Two Texas boys left Austin, from Austin, Texas. Drove from Austin, went into Arizona, stopped, met up with some guys there, Jeffrey, and I'm going to say KZ because
Kazuki, Big Bait Kazuki. I don't know.
Big Bait Kazuki, yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I know who he is, you know.
Went out with those guys, fished. Now we're...
Make sure you're talking straight, perfect.
Now we're in Cali.
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
What made you guys want to do this?
Just to be on the road, get in touch with other people who are also fishing and wanting to get on big fish, traveling, seeing new places, hitting new waters, something I've always wanted to do.
The way that I kind of noticed what you were doing was through Matt Hom and through your trip. So you did something very different. Last year, you fished 365 days.
Correct.
I don't know anyone that's fished 365 days.
Oh, my goodness,
you know? So what made you want to start doing that? When you did at the beginning of the year, where you're like, hey, here's my New Year's resolution, I'm going to fish 365 days, or you got 200 days and you're like, I'm going to do it every day, you know?
Yeah, I mean, 2020, I fished every day. 2019, I almost fished every day. So 2020 rolled around, and I was like, this is a challenge I'm going to do because, I just wanted more opportunity to go out and get on a bigger fish and just to really learn patterns of fish and what they do and what changes things and what creates a better bite. And to become a better fisherman, just being out on the water more time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this time, were you already into the Swimbait thing pretty hard at that time?
Yeah.
So you were doing,
you're
primarily throwing Swimbaits from the kayak.
Only.
And in Texas.
And
somewhere where do you think it's not that popular right now in Texas, like the whole Swimbait scene?
It is pretty popular, I would say, but there's still, conventional guys outweigh Swimbait guys by far in Austin. A lot of tournament fishermen
But you don't see as many so as a scene. So California as a scene. You go to a lake,
Correct.
you might see Mike Gilbert, you might see Chris Purcell, you might see, Butch at Castaic, you might see whoever it is. What kind of scene's going out in Texas where you live right now? You live in Austin, right?
I live in Austin,
okay,
yeah.
So what kind of scene's going on there? Who's some of the big players?
Man, that's a tough one. It's not like California. I don't see a whole lot of guys throwing swimbaits, committed just to swimbaits that are out there.
Yeah.
I have some close friends that kind of play with both. There's Grant Langmore. He's a kid I fish with a lot. He's pretty big on swimbaits. Man, I don't know many. I really don't.
You kind of stay in your own bubble, you feel?
I do, yeah. I fish by myself a lot. I'm solo most of the time.
So when did you start throwing swimbaits from the kayak?
About 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
4 years ago, yeah.
What made you want to do it?
It's just to get a bigger fish. I never felt like I was a good fisherman when I was conventional. I couldn't go out and get on a fish that was over 4 pounds. And then first time throwing swimbaits around, I went out and I caught many fish that were over 5 pounds or 5 pound and up, targeting a bigger fish.
You think you hit a lake I always want to know how it feels like to hit a lake when they haven't seen the swimbait, the way you present it. Mm-hmm. And you feel like you're part of that, where you fish. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you're part of man, I showed them, the DRT, the Tiny Clash, something, hey, they haven't seen this, and you could tell they haven't seen it.
Definitely.
By hey, I'm getting bit every other cast.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Out fishing conventional dudes when I'm on a boat with conventional dudes. And
were people tripping when you were doing it? Were they going, what the fuck are you throwing?
Yeah.
Dude?
Yeah. And right? It's where do I get that Tiny Clash? Or, and it's well, I don't know. Good luck. eBay.
A flipping sites, whatever.
Yeah, flipping site. Buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's pretty interesting to see that your lake kind of you turned it on at your lake, so you're able to kind of test out baits as well. Because sometimes when I feel like when I'm swim bait fishing, and I'm not good at it at all, I'm not experienced as you, when I want to learn a bite, it's hard to learn it when I don't get bit. So you keep throwing it and you might work it, but you get that one bite. So I get that one experience. So I'll get an experience of that one time, the way I swam that 250, and I'll be like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. I won't remember that at all. You know, like I'm not going to remember the way I swam that bait at all.
Yeah.
So for you, it must be a great learning curve to go, oh, I did it this way. Let me try it again. Oh, it worked again.
Yeah.
You know, it's a completely different learning experience for you, right?
And then after you hit a couple of them, it just becomes muscle memory. Like if the bite's on, then you kind of just, you pick that cadence that's working for you. And then the next day it could change and you might slow it down or you might speed it up, but you can kind of just. Can
you bring the mic closer again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Or you could move it towards you if you want. Like, as long as you're in the picture, bro.
I'm getting too relaxed.
I know. I see that flight of Ballast Point beers in front of you.
Oh, they're
Next
good.
thing you know, you're going to be slurring and...
Slurring.
That's happened on this podcast many a times.
Yeah.
But also today, what we did is, so he told me he was going to come down. I said, let's do a podcast. He said, great. And he's like, I'll be down to fish. So I said, great, let's go out and fish. It's not the prime time to fish. Right now we have a sand bass tournament coming up next month. So I said, let's go fish Isers. Like, you know, they have squid. We did leadhead and squid. We caught some fish.
It was fun.
And from a freshwater point of view, so a lot of guys listen to this podcast, and we always talk about calico. We talk about sand bass. People go, oh, what the fuck? How do you fish them? How does it feel? So you caught like maybe not even a pound calico. What do you think how it fought?
Oh, it fought like a 5-pound largemouth.
So that's
the thump.
And then the cool thing is I get to take you out, and it was a lot of fun, and we actually got to fish. So we have a little bit of a story. He got to catch a sculpin, a sheephead, calico, and a sand bass. We didn't get the spotty because we didn't have the time. But it's really cool to take dudes when they're down here, especially from Texas. It's like,
I don't see this.
Yeah, you're not going to see it at all. Completely different, you know, setup. But you could see where dudes would only wanted calico or spotty or, you know, fish, because it's like we have it right here.
It's really cool. If I lived here, I would probably be half and half, saltwater and freshwater.
But let's talk about your first stop on the trip. You did pretty well. It
was nice, yeah. Man, I always get the lake wrong. Luke, what's the name of the lake that we stopped?
Saguaro.
Saguaro.
Oh, they're going to get on you. Arizona's going to get on you, dude.
Yeah, it was a great lake. I mean, found a 7 1/4 pound bass.
On what?
Pearl white battle shad, working class 0 battle shad.
You're a big battle shad guy too. You fish them a lot.
That's like my favorite bait.
Really?
7.5. I haven't really stepped up to the 9.0, like built up confidence with it, but that pearl white one I have like somewhere between 30 and 40 bass just on that one.
On one bait?
On that one. And it's mangled, but I can't hang it on the wall because it's still getting bit.
Dude.
It's so sick.
What turned you on to the whole working class 0?
I mean, just the fact that it can be fished anywhere. It can be fished so many different ways. I don't think there's like a certain time of the year that bait won't get bit. I think you could be heat of the summer. And I mean, speaking from experience, like all of 2020, I had one on pretty much all year long, and I caught fish all year long on battle shads and citizens. So it's just the ability to get up on a rock point, cast out, come through some nasty rocks or structure, or go into a weed line, fish hydrilla. You can basically punch through hydrilla with the battle shad and just rip and pause. They just flat out get bit, you know.
What did you fish a HUD previously?
I did.
You did?
I hated them. I always either miss hook sets or I leave them on the bottom of the lake. Like I can't tell you how many HUDs I've just broke off.
So what made you turn over to the working class 0s, battle shad, everything, you know?
I just felt like the hookup ratio was better. I don't know what exactly.
Were you researching it? Or
yeah.
Did you, okay.
So I mean, really, I've always just looked up to Gilbert, and when he puts a bait out that you can tell he put time on, you know it's not going to let anyone down. You know, it's just coming from him. You know it's going to be good if he's, and then seeing other people use it.
Yeah.
But I mean, from the get-go, I liked it. I liked the design. I liked that he built that bait around the beast hook, and it's like there's no other bait out there that's like that.
Yeah. So when you picked up the battle shad, did you kind of just work that for like a year? Just bam, bam, bam.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And
so like you learned the ins and outs of that bait. Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing let's bring up is you're fishing from a kayak, and by all means, your kayak's not the best. Like Hobie kayak with the pedal drive and all the,
it's a piece of crap.
I'm saying? But it's you're catching great fish. It doesn't matter.
It gets me out there.
What did you learn fishing out of that kayak? Like, how did you learn how to come up to points, come up to structure, whatever you're going to do? Like, how does it change the drift in it? Like, kind of how did you learn all that?
I mean, it's kind of just by feel, like rolling up on a point, seeing which way the wind's blowing, trying to position myself where I was in. Most of the time I like getting on points where I'm casting straight into the wind and try to anchor myself in like 8 feet of water and then cast into the wind and then slow roll up a point. And creeping bottom, filling the bottom throughout the whole retrieve. The thing that's really helped me with hookup ratio on like a jig hook style swim bait is pointing the rod straight at the bait while I'm retrieving it. And then whenever that thump happens, you have that straight line tension against the spool and just crank down on it and then swing, and most, like, I can't remember who it was that told me to switch that up, but once I did that, my hookup ratio, I stopped missing fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just all in the kayak too. I mean,
yeah.
You can't keep on a point. You're drifting a lot of times, right?
It can be a struggle, honestly, being on the kayak. You can't always get what you want. And then when you put content out of like dumping a fish, people are like, I'll tell you what you did wrong. You should have pulled this way. And, it's like you have no control when you're on the kayak, especially if you're not positioned. Like the wind could be blowing you one way, the fish is pulling the other way. And you give a decent bass any lead way. They know how to throw a bait right away, especially if they come to the surface and the bait's on the outside of their mouth while they're shaking, and you're like, damn, that's a big fish, and then the bait just flies out of their mouth, and you're just,
damn, dude,
go home bummed or whatever. Because I mean, every good fish that would have been my biggest of last year, I dumped. I dumped it.
I'm sorry for yelling at you.
Yell
we got
at
new
me
mic
more.
stands, guys. I'm pretty happy with these. So now when we go mobile, it's pretty small. You could see everyone's mic stands. I could just put them on the table. Thank you, Patreon.
These are really sick.
Yeah, this is nice. It's all a small setup now. I can fit it in like 3 bags and then do the post-production later. Let's talk a little bit about Luke. He's sitting here. He doesn't want to talk. He's very shy.
I'm behind the camera, man. I'm not in front of the camera.
He does some amazing camera work as well. I got to see what he did today, and I seen some of the stuff he's done with Jared. Amazing. Talk about how you guys met.
Honestly, we met through a friend. So I had lived in Colorado, moved to Texas, and I had a friend that's just an outdoor guy, Richie Fishbach, and he was friends with Jared. And I remember he had told me that there was a guy doing 365 days of fishing. And I remember all I was looking for was people to do content with, and I was like, well, there's somebody here who's out every single day. So I hit him up. I was just like, what's up, man? Friend of Richie and my brother Bo. And I was like, hey, man, you want to meet up? Within 20 seconds, I think you got back with me. I was just like, all right, man, yeah, let's do this. And so we met up.
I try to respond to everyone.
Yeah, best part about meeting up with you, we went on a windy day, and I flew my drone into the water. That was great, man.
Dude, what drone was that?
It was just a Mavic Mini. Thank goodness it wasn't the most expensive one.
Shit.
Upgraded
Like the
since,
one you had
but
today.
He was so calm about it too. He rolls out on his kayak and he's just got like a
What
kind
am I
of
gonna
half
do?
smirk on his face. I'm like, what was taking
Yeah,
so long?
that's
And
the
then-
thing. Is like, what are you gonna do? You're fucked. I mean, it's
yeah, I just couldn't get bummed about it. Like, there
why
it
did
goes.
it go down?
Honestly, I'd crashed it twice already.
Well, that's why.
Well, I'd crashed it twice already, and then I had replaced the propellers myself, and it was saying like a propeller was overheating. I was like,
So you put on something wrong, maybe?
yeah, probably.
Okay.
And then the wind picked up, and all I see on my monitor, I see the horizon coming up. I was like, there's no saving this. I tried to burn it back, and blah, 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 blah.
So I got to witness. I'm a big fan of the drones.
Oh, yeah.
I got to witness you with the Maverick too, right?
Yeah.
Landed with his hand because I want to see dudes like catch it, pull the battery, and I saw him fucking do it. It was awesome.
Steezy.
Yeah.
I was nervous, man.
We were out. No, it was pretty calm today. It was really calm compared to like I've been out days where it's fucked. You would not have put that thing up at all. You know, like nah. But I mean, the content you guys are putting together is pretty amazing. So, do you have an idea, or do you want to talk about the idea you guys have, like what you're trying to do?
It's just been storytelling. It's like, I mean, that's all it really is. Someone who's after something every day. I mean, it's the process. It's not just the big fish. It's the fight for the big fish. And for someone to be so committed, I mean, with you or with BMX, which I'm sure we'll cover, like just to know that someone who's really after something. That's very attractive for me to tell a story behind that. And then for us to vibe like we do, I mean, I just feel like I've known you a whole lot longer than we have, and it's been fun, man.
No, I thought you guys were boys for like ever, and you're like, oh, we've known each other for how long? 5 months, 6 months?
Not even.
Yeah, no.
So it's crazy to go like, hey, let's do it.
Let's hit a road trip, man. What do you think about 8 days in the same car? Holiday Inn
Black
Expresses.
Sabbath, bro, that's all.
Yeah.
It's been good, man.
So what's the plan? So you want to work as what do you do for a living? Like, what's your main?
I do this now. I was corporate
filming.
America, and then it was. I just kind of kept trying side hustles, and then until I landed on. It was a friend at work said, "My wife just got a new camera. Do you want my old one?" I was just like, "Absolutely."
How long ago was that?
That was November of the year before, November of 19, and then since then, I really haven't been able to put one down.
You haven't been doing it more than a year.
Not really.
Fuck, dude. You're the second guy that I talked to that has done shit like this, and I'm like, you're so good. How did you learn? Man. How did you learn?
Every single day.
YouTube too? Does YouTube help a lot?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah. That and I guess editing is really kind of where the secret sauce lies. Get
love
good
Premiere,
at editing, man.
Too,
Yeah.
Photoshop stuff.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, even you take a picture, you're not really that impressed by it. I mean, it's just all right. Yeah. And then knowing now what I can do something with that photo, that's been the encouragement.
Maybe having an eye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's got the
You got to kind of like be able to see something like.
Yeah.
I think I did have the ear until I hear ringing permanently in my fucking ears, but from Cipro.
Ooh.
I took the antibiotic Cipro. I took it at a bad reaction. And it's been about 6 years now. I hear permanent 2.5 hertz in my ear.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I went
That
to the
would annoy
doctors
me
a
so
million
much.
times, so I just hear ringing. So when we go to bed, my wife, we turn a little fan noise machine on.
Oh yeah.
Because I hear it. I can't stop hearing it. So I'm used to noises. I like hearing noises.
Yeah.
So when I'm fishing, it's probably the quietest it's been, and I hear the ringing a lot. So it sucks because I want to turn the radio on. I don't know if it's going to fuck the fishing up because the radio's too loud. So I kind of like have to just deal with the ringing when I'm fishing. Mm-hmm. It's kind of shitty, but it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. And they tried to tell me it was drums. I'm like, no, I took the fucking Cipro.
I was gonna say.
No, I went to the hospital fucking 7 times in a month.
Goodness gracious.
Because I had half my body go numb, like crazy shit. But
Wow.
I had the ear, and I get what you're saying. Like I could hear something, and I go, that sounds like shit, or that doesn't sound right, or that doesn't. And I'm big on audio now, and it wouldn't be as. It could be better if I had perfect hearing, and I don't. So you probably guys might hear a lot of low end sometimes. It's because I have a lot of high end. Like I'm cut off at a certain frequency, so you might hear something a little different than another one. So I try to make it sound as best as possible. But when we're talking about your pictures, like you have the eye. I think people have the eye. So I talked to Johnny Trying to Go Places.
Oh yeah.
He's got the eye. You have the eye. I could see like you guys can see something.
Thank you.
Because you see a lot of guys try. I have a buddy, Mac Ting. He works at Phoenix. He can see shit. And these guys, artistic maybe a little.
Yeah, I mean,
You think?
always enjoys history and art were like what I thrived at. Really wasn't a numbers guy. I had a numbers job, but got back to my roots there. But I don't know. I just think it's a numbers game too. It's a digital camera, so you can take 1 billion pictures. So you finally get the angle.
Do you do a lot of that? Just keep taking picture.
Yeah, I leave it
Even
on.
today, I mean, you fished maybe for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10, 20 minutes.
I had to get
Jared's
back
like,
my
get the
camera,
fuck
man.
off the rod, bro. no.
I caught all that kelp today, man.
Yeah.
You handed me a rod, I got it hung up. You handed me a rod, and I got it also hung up. Yeah.
Yep.
We tried to get him on a fish, but he loves the kelp too much. He gets
Big kelp, man.
When I think going back to what you were talking about earlier, whenever me and Luke had first met, Luke came into my life at like the perfect time because I was coming to the end of the 365, and I was like, man, I need someone to like document or tell the story, because I'm not good at what Luke does. I mean that it holds me back because I can go out and I can catch fish, but I can't get that content out there. I'm not good at it. Even though I'm rolling around with a GoPro, I'm sitting on like 3 hours of cast and catch footage from 2020. And then I'll occasionally just dump it on Instagram and be like, okay. But it doesn't speak for that footage.
when you dump it on Instagram, it's not the product you want to put out, right?
No. And I would rather save it, put it all together, and make it into something good. And that's why I was like, dude, Luke, if you want to come out with me, document, that would be so awesome, because he makes everything look good. So,
Everything you guys have shown me so far, I'm very impressed. I'm like, wow.
Thank you, man.
I feel like there's a couple of guys that are really doing something different right now. And not to knock on YouTube channels and go like, oh, this looks like shit. They're doing what they can, and they got their following with their, GoPros or whatever it might be. But you guys are trying to do something different by doing a very high quality, almost like a fish film. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what we're hoping for. 2-part series, something or another. But
Yeah.
we just want to keep it going, though. Like what we're doing, we want to continue doing. We want to continue traveling, meeting people who are also diehard about the same things we're doing, and just see new places, meet new people, and have it be more of a community, like where we all have a good time. It's like us getting out today. We've never met each other before today. We had a blast on the boat together.
Fuck yeah.
It's like by the end of the day, we're best friends just because we're connected through fishing.
At 5:30 in the morning, you know how I knew we connected?
Oh, my God.
He opened up the car door. He goes, do you mind if I bring beer? And I'm like, oh, we're friends now. But you also do something else interesting, like a couple different things where I'm like, wow, that I'm into like movies. I love movies. One movie I really love is Chef. It's a great movie. Food trucks. Mm-hmm. Then you told me I have 2 food trucks. I'm like, no fucking way.
Yeah.
So talk about that a little. That's interesting to me. Is like, how did that come about? I
started working at Burrow Cheese Kitchen about 7 years ago. Maybe it was 8 years ago. Fun Fest. It's basically like ACL, South by Southwest in Austin. Music festivals, that kind of thing. I fell in love with it. I was just a dude who came on as a temp, and then I stuck with it. I just went on and went full time, and then I started prepping, and then me and the owner became great friends. My wife also works with me, Erica. She's a saint. I love her. Thank you for letting me travel so much and fish all the time. So I mean, years passed, and then all of a sudden, me and my lady, we started kind of running things, and the boss gave us the reins and said, have at it. And now we have like a great crew, make really good grilled cheese sandwiches in Austin.
That's what the food truck is, grilled cheese sandwiches. Wow.
Yeah. So it's like an artisan grilled cheese. Like we do
Tomato soup with it?
Oh yeah, we got tomato basil soup. I make really good tomato basil soup.
We gotta order some food right now, guys.
Oh my God, I'm starving. We do one called the Long Tall Texan. It's sourdough, Gouda, aged cheddar, brisket, like loaded brisket.
Where do you get the brisket from?
We do a couple local spots in Austin.
Really?
Because I don't know how to do brisket.
That's a hard. Traeger can make anyone a fucking champ. Traeger.
And then we top it off with like a pineapple serrano salsa. It's fire.
Dude. That sounds good. So that's your full-time gig?
That's my full-time gig.
Food trucks?
Yeah.
But I feel like everything you do is kind of like you go full into it. So another thing we connected on was BMX. You guys heard me say I used to ride bikes. I owned a bike shop when I was 19. My buddy Anthony, that's my tournament partner. And I did the first X Games as amateur, but we start talking. You go, oh, I used to ride bikes. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I rode for Primo. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, right? You rode for Primo?
Fit.
Odyssey.
Fit and Odyssey.
Odyssey
yeah.
and Fit.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way, dude. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you were like seriously into BMX and
Yeah.
the more street stuff, right?
More street. Yeah. tech, street.
Yeah.
I kind of messed around with a little bit of everything. As I got older, I started going a little lower and going lower and slower.
What happened? Breaking stuff?
Breaking stuff, tore an ACL, rolled ankles, the standard stuff that comes with riding bikes with no health insurance, not treating any of my past injuries kind of caught up to me as I got older, and I had to find something that kind of replaced riding BMX.
Did you ever enter any tournament or contest like BS? They didn't have BS contests. Did they? Remember BS? They had BS. I think it was like 98 or 7.
That was before my time.
Was it?
I think I was like around
X Games time.
2004 was whenever I started
Peaked, like
getting
when you got
good.
really, okay.
I started getting good.
Okay.
I think I peaked whenever I was like late 20s.
It's like 2009.
2012.
Okay. 12.
Yeah, I'm 35.
Youngin. Easy youngin.
Yeah. No, but I was always on my bike. And then whenever I stopped riding and I started working all the time, I just always kind of had that void where I didn't have my thing anymore. And then whenever I started fishing again and I picked up swim baits, that's kind of like I never thought.
What made you want to choose a swim bait though?
Just a bigger bite,
Because I feel like a lot of it sounds so stupid. A lot of extreme sport dudes. I fucking hate saying that word. Extreme sport. But
So
like
extreme.
dudes that like surf, dudes that ride bikes, dudes that skate, dudes that they go into big baits.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
It's just cool.
Yeah,
It's just super cool,
yeah.
And like bait makers, like a lot of them are just all cool dudes.
music, same thing too.
Yeah.
Like it's all big circle of like dudes that share the same interest. And a lot of the times you hit it on the head with another guy who's like, "Oh, did you like this? Yeah. Did you used to do this? Yeah. Oh, you oh, do you remember this show? Yeah. Like, so it's like with swim baits, that connects everything a lot.
For sure.
And
it just intrigued me like from the get-go. Like I was like, looking at people who swim bait fish, and I was like, I want to catch that fish. And I never felt like I could catch that fish with conventional tackle. Kudos to anyone that goes out with conventional tackle and sticks a double digit. That's insane to me. It doesn't even sound possible, but I know it is. But
there's been a debate. I have a couple talks with guys that go, I think I could catch that big of a fish with the jig.
And that's the only thing. Like every lake in Texas, you look
Everyone's
at like
throwing a big jig to get.
You look
that
at
fish.
lake records, and it's like wintertime, jig, lake record, and I'm like,
yeah.
And like same thing. Like we just had a 13.5 pulled out of Lake Austin, and I was like, I bet anything it was caught
Was
on
it on
a
a
jig.
jig?
It was on a jig.
Oh man.
And I was just like, I just got off Lake Austin that day too. I'd been fishing for like 8 hours straight, didn't get a single bite. And then I get home, and my buddy hits me up. He's like, dude, I just caught an 11. My buddy caught a 13 on Lake
your
Austin.
buddy was part of it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
What do your buddy fishes conventional a lot?
512 fisherman, yeah, John.
He fishes
John.
conventional a lot?
Yeah, he's a little bit of both though.
Bring it a little bit
He's-
closer.
He actually
You can push
ended
it that way a little. I see you're getting back there.
I know,
Lean
I'm
back, dude. You're tired. You've been fishing all day.
Dude, I don't wake up at 5 a.m. ever. I am burnt.
I'm sorry. This is daddy daycare fishing where you get up at 4, you're home by 11, you're going, okay, I'm ready for the kids, and then you're out by 9, and you're like, ugh. But your buddy conventional fishes a lot.
He conventional fishes a lot, and he just got into. I wouldn't say he just got into swim baiting, but he swim bait fishes with me. When he goes out with me, he leaves the conventional at home, so that's pretty cool. And then he went out and he stuck a 11 pounder on Lake Austin.
On a jig?
It wasn't a jig; it was on a swim bait.
He stuck the 11 on a swim bait.
Yeah.
What swim bait? You don't want to say.
I mean,
No, you don't have to. I'm not. I get it. Someone might listen to this and go, oh, you don't want to blow a lake up, right?
yeah.
So you don't have to say it, but were you stoked on the swim bait he caught it on? How about that?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say.
I was proud of the guy. I was proud of the guy.
I'm not trying to blow no one's shit.
And like when I see someone catch a big fish like that, yes, I get jealous.
Really?
I wouldn't say jealous, but inside I'm like, why?
What's your PB though?
11.5.
So you still got him beat, bro.
I mean, even
You
whenever
still got a bigger dick. Come on, Jared. What's wrong?
even when people talk about PBs, I'm like, I don't think of mine as big. I don't think of a big fish as 11.5. I think of like a teener. That's why I'm still out.
What do you consider a big fish?
I don't know, mid-teens, 15.
What would you be? You'd be happy with the 15.
I think.
Do you think that is
I would
realistic though?
Totally.
Where?
Lake Austin, Lake
You
Travis.
think in Texas you can catch a 15?
Definitely. Texas bass are huge.
What's the record out there or Lake Austin?
Lake
is the one
Austin
where at 13, right?
16.6.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you think you can catch a 15 out of there possible?
for sure.
Are people pretty good about not keeping bass in Texas?
Well, no. No. I see people all the time that will take home like a 7-pound bass.
That's what I'm trying to say.
They
So
might be fishing from the bank with like bluegill or something.
You could fish with bluegill there? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Conservation is a little different over there than it is in California, I think.
Texas Parks and Wildlife, they do a really good job though.
Do they? Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Stocking, all of that.
But you see dudes keep 7-pounders, you're like, fuck.
It's a bummer.
Oh.
It's a bummer.
You never say shit to them because it's their right, right?
They can do whatever they want. Yeah. I'm not going to, I don't know. Yeah.
So you think a teener is like, I mean, I think 11.5 is a big fish, man.
It was a great fish.
Yeah, that's a great fish.
I was shaken. I lived off
Was that the
high.
kayak?
No, it was on my buddy's boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think you would have caught that off the kayak if you could have fished off the kayak or no? You wouldn't have been able to get that spot.
I don't know. I mean, yes, I could. I mean, it's a spot we fish a lot. It's a spot I fish on the kayak. I don't know if I would have landed them on the kayak.
Really?
I don't know.
What's the big difference?
Treble baits laid all over the bottom of the boat, like switching stuff out. I'm scattered. So whenever a bass gets up next to the side of the boat, you can't just flip them in there with you with all that stuff. Especially if you catch a big bass on a treble hook bait and you throw them right in between your legs. You know, they're
Have
just
you
gonna
got caught before?
no, not that way.
No.
I've been fish hooked many times, but not
No way.
Not from
Bad
that.
or no?
Deep ones, yeah. Hand. I got one in the calf that was really good. I got a hinkle in the calf.
Did you just yank it out with the pliers?
Yeah. I tried the whole braid technique where you
Didn't
push
work.
down on the hook
Yeah.
and yank real hard.
Yeah.
It didn't work. But no, I think you're at a little bit of a disadvantage in the kayak because, and I don't ever carry a net.
Why not?
I lost a bet in 2019 for the whole Fish 365 that I couldn't use a net.
So what do you do when you catch a fish? Do you flip it onto the kayak?
Yeah, I try to just grab the bait. If it's treble bait, I'll grab the bait and flip
Pull
them
it
in.
up. Okay.
Yeah, by the bait. Or I think I do pretty good at getting a fish in the kayak. I've only lost a couple nice ones.
Have you lost anything where you're like, could have been it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. No, not teener,
No.
but bigger than an 11.
Could have been 12s.
Yeah, it could have been 12s. I don't think I've ever hooked into a teener.
So would you be happy if you got a 13?
Oh, I'd be stoked.
That'd be it for you. Like, not it, but you would.
I
if
might
you
stop.
Only,
I might take a break.
yeah.
Like right now, I'm on
Oh,
day.
you're not taking a break till you catch a teener.
I'm not stopping.
Oh, fuck.
I'm in it until I catch a
Hey,
teener.
it must be nice to have no kids.
Hey, I got cats. They take care of themselves.
Definitely different.
I'm on,
what
what was
day you
today? 403. I fished every day for 403 days. And I really don't plan on stopping. And the wife is very supportive of it. She told me,
Fuck yeah, she's supportive, dude. My wife would be like, yeah, here's the divorce papers. No, she would. I mean, I do so many other things, but you could get away even for an hour a day if you had to.
that's
just
what it
to
is.
fish,
I mean, every day. It's
you
not
try
all,
to fish like an hour. Do you fish out of the kayak almost every day?
I try to.
So out of the majority of time you fished, say 365 days last year, how many were out of the kayak?
Oh, God, a lot of them. I mean, I kayaked 1,800 miles last year.
Fuck. That's a big thing for a freshwater fisherman to say. Maybe salt might be different because, they're heading out of the harbor, going out. Some of these guys get yellowtail and stuff. It's a lot of miles, dude.
It was a lot of miles. My ass actually started messing up on me these last.
And what kind of kayak do you have?
I have a Jackson Big Tuna. It's originally a 2-person kayak.
But you rigged it up.
I just kicked the seat all the way back. I'm 6'5", so
Yeah, you're humongous, yeah.
stretching the legs out. It actually almost works for me.
Nice.
But it handles water, big water well. Like when I get on the like big lakes and I'm around ski boats and wake surfing boats.
Let me look at my boat real quick. I'm stressed out again. I'm sorry.
We'll check it out.
I tied my boat up on the dock, and I think I tied it right. I'm a fucking idiot. He's gonna say it's gone.
It's on the break
Look
wall.
there he goes. He's trying to be a fucking son of a bitch. He's got me going. Look at
It's gone, man. It's gone.
For a minute, I was like,
What were we talking about?
we were talking about big water on the lake.
Oh, yeah.
on the kayak.
No, I mean, and it's like it's not that you can't get on a big fish from the bank, but I mean, I'm so diehard about committing to this. Like I want it that bad, and it's not for anything. It's not. It's just challenging me. Like
You can put your mind. Yeah, if you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything.
Yeah.
I just remember you saying that a lot.
And it's like-
you can do whatever
here's
you
another
put your
question.
mind to.
Do you want to make sure you catch the 13 or 14 out of the kayak?
definitely.
You don't want to catch it out of a boat.
No.
Okay.
I want to be in the kayak. I want to ski around behind it for a little bit. You know.
Do you know what the record is out of a kayak?
No,
You should find out what it is.
that's true.
What if you have it? You just don't know.
That'd be pretty cool.
Right? I mean, you never know.
I wonder how you could even track that.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone will message me and go, "Hey, asshole, it's whatever."
Yeah, it's.
But no, I
freaking
wonder.
13 pounds.
I mean, we know the record in California is like 22, or I'm not. Oh no, that's the record. Period. What's the biggest largemouth?
It's out of Biwa, right?
Yeah, 20.
75-pound white sea bass. So we
I
don't
don't
know
know.
about
That's
we don't know
not-
about bass.
yeah,
I
that's
know,
a
I know.
bass.
See what largemouth is. See what largemouth is. I
Yeah,
need one of these
Biwa.
guys on the podcast where I can go, "Hey, look this up."
Yeah, that's sick.
I need one of those. I like it.
Yeah.
You know what that was 22 something, right?
That was Dottie out of Cali
No, that was
in Biwa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a.
I mean,
Biwa's got some freaking nature bass. They're
yeah.
blimps.
I got to see it at Matt Purcell's. What is it?
Regina Womack, record 15.88 pound kayak largemouth bass.
Wow.
Okay, so you got to get a
Regina
16.
Womack.
Mid-teens.
You need a 16. That's your
Wow.
goal, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, you did say that, yeah.
Because if you got a 16 out of a kayak, that's all you're done.
Yeah.
You'd have
Sorry,
the record.
Regina.
I would take a break after that.
Would you?
Yeah.
How long?
I don't know. Maybe a couple days.
Right?
Yeah. Oh man.
Hey, wait till
You'd
you have
take the
kids. You're going to take a
afternoon.
long
He'd be back
break.
at it the next day. He'd be right back.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
know
mean,
so.
I mean, how many times have you got frustrated fishing? I have. And gone, fuck this. And I get home and put my boat away and go, fuck, this is bullshit. Then I see someone's post or I see something and I go, maybe if I try this, it'll be better.
that's what
not.
it is.
And it's not. And you go out and it's fucked. But then that one day I'm fucking around talking to someone on the phone and I go, oh shit. And it'll be like a fucking 6-pound bass. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. You know,
yeah.
like,
It's
you know, whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, fishing can get very frustrating.
Oh,
You know, and especially if you're not like, I don't consider myself good. Like, if you're not like these guys that like can look at Butch. This fucking guy messaged
He's
me.
a robot.
He goes, hey Nick, here's some promo pictures and video. I'm like, when did you catch those? Yesterday. Fuck. 2 10-pounders. Like, I'm like, motherfucker, man. How do
Yeah.
you do that, man? How do you do it? You know, and he's done it for 40 years.
and that's the level I
You
want
know?
to be on.
40 years, man, just grinding out. You
I,
know,
I,
knowing-
I appreciate the hell out of that. Seeing
Yeah.
people do that and be that skilled at what they're doing, you know, that's what I want to be like. I want to be when I get to that level, you know, I want to be at that level.
Since you big bait fish from the kayak, do you have to use maybe a little different setup, line wise, reel, rod, anything a little different?
I do like having a more parabolic rod.
Okay.
I like having a softer rod that's going to
You
absorb.
think because you're not going to lose it that way?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
keep a bend on a fish. Like when I made the switch to Leviathan rods, their rods are really parabolic. They'll like double end over each other. So even if you're getting blown in the wind, like everything's pulling against you, the fish is going one way, the boat's going the other. You can like keep that bend on the rod, and fish comes up and jump. You know,
Are all of them like that you have set up in your kayak?
Yeah, I have all
Okay.
all of them are like that.
So all the Leviathan rods are like set up very parabolic, so you make sure you don't lose a fish.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they have a big backbone, you still want a lot of bend on the end.
A
right?
lot of
Like
tip.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of soft. Like
Okay.
it's soft.
Yeah.
They do mod fast now. They just
Okay.
started testing some new blanks, so I should get some of those here soon. But for hard baits, it's really good having something parabolic. It keeps those trebles pinned. And I learned to really like the parabolic on a soft bait. It's a little different of a hook set. You got to really crank down on them and swing hard. But once they're pinned, and that most of the time, I don't throw any jig hook style baits. I mostly throw baits. It's like my soft baits are all
Glides and
beast
soft-
beast
yeah,
hooks,
yeah,
or
yeah.
weedless,
Citizen.
weedless,
Yes. And a lot of glides, right?
and a lot of glides.
What glide do you like using? So what's something a little different? Have you fished California lakes previously to this?
Never.
So this will be your first time tomorrow.
First time tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
My favorite glides, I like gizzard shad profile glides, like phony shad, 86 shad, 316 workhorse, or the Hinkle shad. I fell in love with the Hinkle shad this last year.
Yeah.
That's a really fun bait.
It's a hard one to get a hold of, man. Shit.
A little hard to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had two in my three-way. Thanks, wife. She's going to deny it all day long. I know she fucking threw it.
What happened with that?
My buddy Mike Bond, he had two baits he gave me to give to Bass Jack. So
To get 'em painted?
Yes. So I had them on the table, Amazon box. There was two Hinkle shad boxes in there. So I put them on the table. I go the next day to find the box. She goes, "Oh, I don't know where it is." I'm like, "Okay, maybe in the closet or something." So I look, can't find it, and it was Christmas time.
Oh, God.
So I guarantee somebody picked the fucking box up because it was light, threw it in the trash. So I'm like, "Oh, I'm fucked, man. That's two baits. They're not mine. I got to find them. How the fuck am I going to get those?
Wow.
You got to wait for a drop." I'm like, "Shit." So
that's
thank you.
that's like $500 worth of baits. Two of those?
yeah, I bought them off of a buddy of mine. Thank God he had them.
Jeez.
I won't say his name so he can keep private. He knows who I'm talking about, you son of a bitch. And but he helped me out. I appreciate that. He had two of them. He sold me regular price. So I was like, "Thank you so much, dude."
They're solid baits. They're so fun.
No,
to
I
fish.
know. I don't. I wish I found them. I'd have them. Like they're gone. I don't know what the fuck happened to them. So I mean, it was shitty. I was really pissed, but thank God I was able to replace them. That was what I was worried about. Because like, what am I have to do? Go find a bait flipper? I have to find someone that flips baits to get these fucking baits back.
Get up on the universe.
Yeah,
or
and I'm like,
something.
dude, I'm gonna have
Jesus.
to get on a board, and I'm like, thank God this dude came through. So I mean, here's what it is. I mean, I've lost some baits where I'm like, oh my gosh, have you lost like a DRT?
Yeah. I broke off a DRT Ghost
Oh,
at the beginning of the year.
On what?
Just deep cranking on the bottom, and just
Shit.
I was fishing underneath the bridge next to some pilings, and
Did you think about diving in and trying to go down and get it?
no, it was like in 22, 25 feet of water. Yeah, I mean, I could probably go and like get gear and go down and get it, but after it's gone in my head. I'm like,
Really?
whatever.
How long did that thing last for?
I mean,
how long did you fish it? Like,
it was pretty new when I broke it off.
okay, so you
I
didn't
had
have
two.
that
I
long.
had two other ones, so I was like bummed, but at the same time, I just wrote it off as soon as it went down. But I mean, there's a lot of
Do you fish the Ghost a lot?
not much,
Wow.
honestly. If I'm on a bass boat or I'm fishing from the bank, that's just. I mean, like the Ghost, like a Roman Made Mother, Hinkle trout, like those big baits are really hard to fish in a kayak. Fish them right.
Because you got to load the shit out of the rod.
You got to load the shit out of the rod.
Yeah.
You got to be feeling what's going on with the bait. Like a Ghost is not too bad out of the kayak. But the Mother and those baits that are like 14, 16 ounces, that's wear you out fishing those and sitting down in the kayak, you know?
There's no leverage.
There's no
You're
leverage.
Just using your whole body.
It's just
to-
all arms like this, you know? Like,
How sore are you after you do
so
that?
sore.
Yeah.
So sore. Like committing to a big bait all day will wear your arms out.
Yeah.
On top of most of the time I'm averaging about 5 miles a day on the kayak.
And you're doing it all with your upper body, like
All up,
paddling.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I'm on one of those vintage kayaks that has a paddle.
You need to get a kayak, and you need to get kayak sponsor.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I would like that.
Yeah. Then you got this guy following you around behind you.
Yeah, Luke's right behind me all the time.
I'm trying to keep up, man.
Dude. Has that been pretty taxing to you, Luke? Like learning how to go like, fuck, I gotta keep up.
Man,
with
it's
this.
all about the angle. So like I'm constantly fighting for the angle. I'm just kind of sloshing around
The
behind.
wind's not working for him either.
You should have the trolling motor on your kayak.
You want to buy me one, man?
Yeah, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? You could drop that. You could just anchor lock and get the photo.
Maybe a little Minn Kota. Yeah.
Can you stand up on your kayak?
Oh yeah.
You can too.
I like
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah,
Mine's
okay.
13 and a half. Wilderness Systems ride 13.5.
Did you have it before you met him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's kind of one of the
There
things.
it goes.
The compressor.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. So I want another beer.
Sick.
You got to piss anyone? Anything?
I want to get some food, dude. Luke,
Remember what we were talking about, Luke?
What's up?
Do you remember what we were talking about?
Absolutely not. Oh, kayaks.
Okay, so the kayak thing. We took a break. We had to go pee. We drank too many beers.
Baby bladder.
Not
man.
really. We had baby bladders. Yeah.
I got a baby bladder.
So this Swimbait thing, like you kind of skip. Like I want a full breakdown. I like hearing the story, like who taught you. So you like, I don't know. I hear a lot of guys go, "Hey, I learned from this dude. I learned on this YouTube video." I mean, a full breakdown on kind of like how did you learn? Like
Yeah.
you catching good fish. I mean, it's great. People noticed you. You know.
Going into it, I didn't really have people that were around that kind of showed me how to fish certain things. I feel like I went through every swim bait. I just bought up a bunch of baits, and I was like, just trying to figure out what I liked and what worked for me.
Were you buying commercial shit as well?
Yeah, just buying junk, you know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can buy in the swim bait world that's kind of just, you know, run-of-the-mill stuff that you can go to
Did you have any that
Bass
worked?
Pro or Cabela's. Gantrel Jr.,
Really?
you know, that's just a solid bluegill bait that works in any body of water in Texas, anything, any pond, any lake. I mean,
In
you can
Texas?
get on good fish on the Gantrel Jr. Honestly, that's a great bait.
Is there that many little ponds everywhere? Like I've
They're
heard
just
there's-
everywhere.
and there's fish in there.
Oh yeah, everything has bass in it. It's like you see kids fishing private waters and golf courses and sticking like double-digit bass out of like a small body of water. Dude, it's crazy, you know.
So does that count to you?
No,
No.
not at all.
What kind of body of water do you need to be in? Like a non-private lake?
A lake that everyone has the same.
Because some people I've heard, like I had a friend that went to Texas for vacation, and he was walking down the street, and there was this lady's like little pond in her house, like next to her house. So he knocked on the door. He's like, "You mind if I fish it? I'm from California." She's like, "Go ahead." There's some fish in there, and he said he caught like threes, fours. Like
Yeah,
good.
it's nonstop. It's nonstop. I mean, it's not that it doesn't count. Good for them. It's very exciting to go get on a big bass, you know? But if you're going to be advertising it, anyone could go to that body of water. Those fish are pets. Those. I mean, they've never seen a bait before. Not even a wacky rig Senko. You know, you could go get that 10-pound bass on a perfectly carved stick with some treble hooks hanging off of it, you know? It's like they'll hit anything that's moving. So, I mean,
That's a hard one though. But I mean,
but I want it to be legit. I want to be on a lake.
so to be legit to you, you got to be on like a lake that everyone has.
Me? Yes.
You want to know those fish have seen some baits.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean that's just shows your skill as a fisherman.
Okay.
If you can go to a big body of water, figure out how to break.
Have you met dudes that in Texas that have caught like teeners through private lakes?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever fished those private lakes?
No,
Why?
I don't want to. Like Camelot Bell.
That's
it,
like-
it costs like
Have you ever been to a strip
$1,500. Yeah.
Then why wouldn't you go to a private lake?
I mean, it's like it's not that I wouldn't go to
You know
them,
what I'm saying?
but
I
I'm
would
not.
go to a private lake all day and catch them. I don't give a
It's
fuck.
It's really cool. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to strip club because I love my wife, but
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with private lake fishing. There's nothing wrong with fishing a golf course. It's just, it's easy. And that's not a challenge. You know, anyone can go out there and catch a really good fish. And there's a lot of people who make a lot of money on Instagram doing it or like, you know, get sponsorships doing it. It's like anyone,
make money on Instagram doing private lake fishing.
you could do it, you know?
Yeah.
It's a thing. But I mean, no shame in that. Like, you know, you're doing what works for you. I'm not hating on anyone. Like, but it's just not for me, you know?
But wouldn't you even go just for fun? Like I would go like if
I wouldn't
say
advertise
Luke
it.
was like, "Hey, let's go fish this private lake." My buddy said, "Hey, we can fish there."
I wouldn't think to hit you up for that.
You know what I'm saying?
Then
Like,
I would go fish the river. You know, if I was going to go
Right.
fish the private lake, I'd go out to the lower Colorado River or like the Guad
I'll say something. I remember what I noticed is you do appreciate the challenge. Even when we first got to Arizona, everyone said no. You said yes. Said not that place. You
they
said
were like,
yes.
skip Arizona. Those lakes are dead.
Yeah, and then you were more stoked because we had a sunset bass.
Oh, it was beautiful.
End of the day,
Arizona sunset.
It was right. Yeah, it was right when we were all feeling like, okay, it's a beautiful day. Look how gorgeous it is out here. It's okay we didn't catch a fish. At least we got out here, and then we caught one.
I did dump one earlier on
Oh
the
yeah.
ankle.
Yeah. But I remember you
So-
saying it was more fulfilling at the the last inch of the day. You were more stoked that it happened
Dude,
then
it
than we
made
didn't
and
catch
you
it.
got
every
that on
day.
video, right?
It made it
I
all
can't wait to
worth
see
it.
that.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Is this going to go be your first YouTube project you're going to put out?
This is it, yeah.
This
And
California
Content,
this one kicks it off.
I get involved. I'm a part of it then, huh?
You're in it. You're in it.
You're the reason we're here.
This is another thing. So, like, if you go, you don't, and I just like this conversation about private lakes. People talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
What if someone told you what to do to catch a fish? Say Gilbert called you and said, "Hey, I've been to Texas. I like rigging my bait this way, and when you get to that point, work it this way, and do that, and this." And say you say, "Okay, I'm taking that note." I go out there, I catch my 15-pounder. Is that yours?
Just because he told you how to do it?
Is that yours? That's the question. Is that your fish?
Absolutely.
But he told you how to do it. So like I caught my PB calico.
But just because someone tells you doesn't mean because that's like saying there's 3 dudes on a boat, they're all throwing the same bait, but one dude's sticking fish left
Okay,
and right.
I get what you're saying.
You know?
I just made me feel like to me when I caught my PB calico,
Did someone put you on it?
someone told me what to do.
Yeah.
And I took that technique and I did it. And he told me where to
That
go.
just means you're good at fishing.
No. I mean, I feel like I could have told you what to do, and like, I don't know. That's a hard one for me.
Yeah.
I just like
Did you
to
catch your
debate.
PB on a swim bait?
My freshwater?
Yeah.
Yes. No. Spinnerbait.
Nice.
And
Well,
I'm in the
was your
sevens.
calico on a swim bait, or was it
No,
on?
it was on my favorite bait, the jerk shad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Everyone knows I love that. Yeah, I mean, but my friend Jeff Leifson told me, "Hey, Nick, throw this way," and I was fishing one of the walls we went by, and flipping it in the rocks, and bam, I pull up a 7. I was shocked. It was amazing, like for me.
I can't
that's,
imagine a fight.
Yeah.
A 7-pound.
And then I caught it. Well, actually, I didn't weigh this one, but I think it was the same at a break wall at night. I caught a big one recently, like a month ago, and and that was on a swim bait. Okay, lures, yeah. But I mean, when you get that piece of information from someone,
Right. It didn't feel like it was yours?
but you're doing research. Like right now, you're doing research.
Yeah.
You're doing all the research, so you figure everything out on your own, right?
Yeah.
You had no one break this down for you.
I just learned what I liked. And, at the beginning, I bought just so much stuff. And then I downsized.
You think that's how you did your learning curve was you bought so many baits from everywhere and you kind of like said, no.
And then I
yes.
fine-tuned it. I was like, this works for me. This doesn't. This works for me. Get rid of... I gave away so many swim baits. I guarantee there's so many people out there like, oh, yeah, Jared gave me a swim bait. And it's like, yeah, I hated
Jared
that bait.
thinks it's shit.
No, but I mean, it's cool because, I mean, they all work. They all catch fish. Kids are always asking, like, what's the best swim bait? And it's like, whatever one you're most confident in. Those are the ones you're going to get hit on the most. Because, and for me, like, my favorite swim bait is the one that's most beat up, like chewed up, hook rash, teeth marks.
You
all
don't
that.
care about color much, like a paint?
Not at all. My PB
More
was
about
on
swim.
My PB was on a freaking hot pink soft swim bait. Hot pink. Like, freaking neon.
You just gave it away.
Oh, yeah.
That's a secret.
I mean, color for a lot of people play into maybe it's confidence more,
For sure.
confidence bait.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got a good looking bait, you feel like, man, that's gonna get fucking bit. You know what I'm saying? But
I think the ones that are, like, beat to shit are the ones that get bit the most.
I heard a lot of people say that too. Well, look at you. How long have you had that fucking battle shad?
It's one of the first head case harness ones, right when he dropped them.
Dude.
Yeah. Beginning of 2020 or early 2020, whenever he first dropped those. I need to hang it up on the wall, but it just keeps getting bit. Like, I want that one forever, because it's
Yeah.
kind of, it's like, it used to be pearl white, and now it's kind of like a like a piss yellow. And it's like all stained up. And
say that.
yeah.
You show Gilbert, be like, "What the fuck, man?"
I talked to him about it. And
Yeah.
he was like, "Dude, keep throwing it. I
Yeah.
mean, if it's getting bit, keep fishing it.
No.
It's probably.
I mean,
you know."
That's crazy, and it goes to show you, like, if you know what you're doing and you could take care of that bait. I've heard people who go, "Oh man, they don't like these plastics don't last that long. They're not worth it." I mean, is it worth it to you? How much is it? How much is that bait?
I don't even know. 30, 40 bucks.
Okay.
For one.
Is that if you take care of it and you catch 40 fish? Is that worth it to you?
Oh damn.
Fuck yeah, it's worth it to me. You know,
I would pay
like,
$100. If you told me it was $100, I'd pay $100
Yeah.
for it because I know it works, and that's like what
That's
makes.
another thing with the Swimbait community is it's shitty to see people complain about stuff sometimes where I go, look, if you make something and you think it's worth that much, then sell it for that. People don't want to buy it, and they don't buy it. If they do, fuck it.
Yeah.
Customer service is a completely different thing, but bait-wise, I'm like, dude, if I needed that bait, I'd probably pay that much for it. Especially someone said a dude in a tournament, if they really needed that bait, they're going to pay $100. It's going to win them the tournament.
Yeah.
You know?
No, 100%. It's like, I mean, even going back to what you were saying earlier, like fishing stuff every day and like 2020 and fishing every day, like I wasn't that confident in glide baits at the beginning of the year. And then I just
How confident are you now?
Oh, now it's a no-brainer. I could just go out with like one glide bait and have a good day, you know? Like I feel like, and I was catching fish in the winter on them, and then like the summer was great, and like I just want
But do you think it's your lake too? I mean, your lake's just seeing these glide baits?
my lake, I guess lakes in Arizona,
Yeah.
I guess, you know, as I'm going along the road, they work everywhere, anywhere with bass, you know, like we'll see how they work tomorrow, you know?
Yeah,
And it's like,
I'm sure it's going to be great wherever you go. People
Yeah.
will know when they see the video.
and it's just, you just mix it up. You know, like throwing a glide bait is like a cadence thing. You need to just do these long bomb casts, and either they're going to hit it when you're doing this or they're going to hit it when you're doing this. You know, just
And it was
jerking
funny to
around.
see you casting some of the plastics because we were at the oil rigs. I just wanted to get bit. And I see him giving that swim bait cast, you know, I'm like, fucking, that's a typical, you know, where I throw a little different, you know, like trying to just get it in there, fuck it,
load it
you know,
up.
and you're like getting the perfect cast right in there. I'm like, fuck it, we're moving, you know, like, that's super cool, you know, like watching swim bait guys do something different too, as well as just, you know, throwing the bait all the time.
Yeah.
Now, when you were doing that 365 days, did you have any type of plan? So, like, say, like, if I always think of this, like, I'm going to throw this bait for a month straight. That's it. That's fucking it, period. Did you have that in your head when you're doing the 365 days?
No.
You just threw whatever.
Yeah, just whatever,
Okay.
whatever felt right. Whatever baits. Normally in the floorboard of my truck when I step out of it, because normally I just have baits like littered all throughout my truck. It's like if it's in the floorboard, like where I'm sitting, normally it's one of the first ones to grab, and if it's like behind me, then
So you had
it'd
no
be-
plan or method to anything. Like, you're just
No.
like, I'm going to go fish. That's
You know, honestly, and if I had to like lay out my favorite baits, it would be like a phony, a Hinkle, Matt's 86 glide. That bait, that it's a smaller profile glide, but it has a big presence in the water, and you can fish it like really aggressive. It's almost like you could burn it.
So you use it. So I've had a lot of guys on. Usually, most of these guys are their own bait. They throw them. I like Matt's baits. Let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, you've talked to Matt too, as well, right?
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's
I mean-
honestly, I've never even met him, but I've talked to him on the phone a handful of times.
Well,
Like
he's
a
such a
good amount of
fucking
times.
cool guy, man.
Super
You know?
nice. And like I've even had downer days where like I broke off lures or broke lures, or just like those days where I don't want to do it anymore. Like I'm getting my ass handed to me out on the water. It's hot or whatever. And like, I'll reach out to someone. I'll be like, what the hell am I doing? Mm-hmm. And then they're like, you know, keep doing what you're doing. And then it might be like, you know, them giving me just a little push, and then I go out and I do good that day, even though the day started bad, you know, like.
Did you play off moon phases a lot and stuff like that? Barometric pressure? Like, you knew, like, oh, this moon phase is coming up. This is going to change the game a little, so I'm going to do something different this day?
Not as much moon phases as fronts and rain. I feel like those help me a lot, like going pre-front or post-front. I also like fishing after heavy rains. Like because all of our lakes in Austin are really clear, and after heavy rains, water turns brown, and I feel like those fish just let their guard down.
Really?
And yeah, I've always done pretty good, like, or just fishing on really shitty windy days.
Yeah,
really.
That seemed to, yeah.
I love shitty days when no one else is on the lake and I shouldn't be out there, but I like force it to go out. Like I'm like, all right, this is the day. And then most of the time, those days do produce.
What is your worst day you've been out? Like, what happened? Like, have you dumped the kayak? Have you done anything like that?
Never dumped the kayak. You know, I haven't had a whole lot of days where, like, man, just wind. Just being caught in wind, cold.
Wind sucks.
Like 30-mile-an-hour winds. Like, there was one day where all right, there was one day. I was fishing out at Decker Lake, and a storm was rolling in, so I moved to position myself on the side of the lake where there's only one boat launch at that lake. And I moved to the side of the lake that I knew the wind was going to hit, and it was going to push me towards the boat launch, and I thought I'd be fine. And it was getting dark, and the wind came through, and it was gusting so hard that even when I was trying to paddle with the wind, I was like surfing whitecaps going back to the. But if I let my kayak go slightly sideways, it would catch it, and I like had to force myself, like paddling so hard on the opposite side to get straight. I mean, days like that. I mean, that's like. But I mean, I don't know if I wanted to get out in those situations. There was something funny about like me posting the pre-launching the kayak video on Instagram, and people were like, "Don't do it," and I'd be like. And then, like, 10 minutes later, I'd be on the water, and they're like, "You're a freaking idiot." Like, but I feel like those got more attention than, like, if I caught a big fish. They'd be like, "This guy is a clown, like, out in this weather." Like, it's 30 out, and I'm, like, in denim and, like, Vans and, like, 5 layers up top. But
that's wild, man. That's seriously crazy. I can't wait to see what you guys have planned. What's the first video that is going to be this one you're doing right now? You're planning on dropping it. Have you made the YouTube channel already?
Not yet.
No name, nothing yet.
Finally
you got an idea?
Name.
We do have a name. Yeah.
Have you already registered it?
No.
Then we won't ask you about it because I don't want to give it away.
Yeah. It's
so
good.
You
though.
have a name.
It's good though.
Very to our ethic of like what it is.
Do you have something? What's the next in store? Like, so California's trip is going to be the first one.
Mm-hmm.
SoCal. Mm-hmm. Do you have NorCal next? Is it going to be like a little?
Florida is next.
Florida. Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
dude.
I'm excited about Florida.
Do you talk to Keith yet?
Yep.
Oh, dude.
I told Keith like a.
What is that going to be?
We're thinking springtime. Make it over.
You know,
I'd
really love to fly over there and do some podcasts and meet. I mean, I heard.
You want to go with us?
I would love to just go do some podcasts.
Let's plan it.
Oh my god, I can't do this. I got kids, dude. No way. You know, I'd love to go to Florida
3 days
to do
off.
some. I would. I would
work.
take a week off.
It's work.
Yeah, I know. That would be cool. I mean, Keith is another guy like where I'm like, this dude's funny as fuck.
Dude,
Great
honestly,
dude.
his videos psych me up so much. I could be having a down day and I could open the phone up and I see his videos. I'm like, all right, he's out there getting on them.
I heard him
need
on Bassworks 101. Listen to that podcast. Mario does a cool podcast up north. He had him on a call-in, and I listened to that, and I'm like, dude, I liked Keith. I messaged him back and forth, but I heard his podcast. I'm like, he's right up my fucking alley.
Dude, he's funny as hell.
All the time, just
he's
like
funny
me.
as hell.
You know, like I'm like, that was a great podcast. Those are two, and both of you and Keith, I seen working class zero shit, like, you know, with Gilbert.
I think I'd constantly be trying to challenge Keith. I'd see if I woke up and I saw Keith had stuck a good fish that day. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go out today and try to match that.
What's his PB? Do you know what his PB is?
I don't. He's caught some big freaking fish though. Just in 2020 alone,
dude,
like I'm pretty sure he caught a handful of
DDs.
DDs.
Did the funniest video. I've watched it 5 times. It's him with his wife. They're fishing. She gets a fish, so he pulls it up out. He has one rod on the floor. Okay. So he's pulling the bass up. He's giving it to his wife. He's looking at it. He gets it off. He's going to give it to his wife to like tell her, hey, here you go, take a picture. Fucking rod goes off.
I saw that.
And he fucking throws it like a football. And I was like, I laughed out loud, like fucking loud. I couldn't stop laughing. My wife's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, this is the funniest video I've ever seen, dude. He's like, fuck my wife's fish. My fish, like, it was fucking hilarious.
His rod just like almost skis off into the water.
And I'm like, dude, I laughed. He's like, dude, it was funny. I'm like, I watched it probably 10 times. It was so fucking funny. But it's the guys like that where I get to hear him and I'm like, man, I feel like I know you. When I'm like you, like I talk to you a little bit, I'm like, wow, this is great. Matt told me, dude, this guy's awesome. He's cool. You got to get him on. I'm like, all right. And then
Matt's the man.
Yeah. I mean,
Matt put me in connects with a lot of people.
Did you meet Gilbert through Matt?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Really?
Okay. Honestly, you think about the community, we're pretty small. And it's like, those who are out there putting in the work, we all kind of notice everyone.
There's a lot of...
I don't want to be cliquey with anyone, though.
But it's not saying cliquey, but there's a lot of different areas like Swimbait Universe, Swimbait Underground, Bass Brigade, fucking everything. This is all... There's different dudes you can meet. There's and everyone's really cool most of the time.
Most of the time. I haven't really came across anyone that like rubbed me the wrong way or...
Yeah.
If you kind of know before you even know them if you're going to be...
I'm sure.
If they're your people or not,
Yeah. There's not many dudes that anyone has ever really complained about. And so it's been really good to me.
Yeah.
Swimbait, everyone from the Swimbait industry.
Yeah. Amazing. I get stoked on kids asking me questions about swim baiting. Like the fact that
you get a lot of dudes from Texas asking you, like kids and stuff?
Yeah. They'll even say like they're local or what and
will you go fish with them? Like if some dude's like, hey, yo, I live by you.
Absolutely.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. Because I'm solo most of the time.
Yeah.
I do like fishing by myself more than anything. Like I feel like I really focus a lot more when I'm out there solo.
Do you just listen to Black Sabbath the whole time?
Sometimes. On Sundays, yeah. I get psyched up.
Do you listen to headphones and are you a music guy when you're out fishing?
Most of the time, no.
Really? You just want to hear the
occasionally I play your podcast or...
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
I'll listen to...
all kinds of shit.
All kinds of shit.
Okay, yeah.
But, most of the time I'm just out there just figuring out what I can do differently. Like, okay...
You take a log?
No, and I should,
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I wish this year, since I'm going to continue the crazy journey, I want to start keeping track. Like I get lake slips every day that I'm at the lake.
That's so cool. Yeah.
And I have a shitload of them at the house.
I'll give you the one we have from here.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because we have it from Long Beach. You can have one.
And I just want to start writing the information down on the back of each lake slip because date, time, all that stuff's on it, and I can be like, today,
it'd be fucking cool. I don't want to say it. It could be. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I could keep for your YouTube channel. I'll be like, let's talk about it.
I could keep all that information. I should do a log though. I know a lot of people do, and it helps them. It helps them be better at what they're doing. They can look back and be like, okay, the conditions were like this. This is where the moon phase was. Like we had a midday moonrise, and the bite was on fire in between 1 and 3 p.m.
Yes,
yes. And it's like, it definitely plays a role.
Right.
Yeah.
You
see all the OGs, they're tracking it. They're out there sticking big fish.
Fuck. Are you riding anymore? People want to hear about BMX, so you have been riding more?
I have been. Yeah, I'm trying to get on the bike more this year. I currently have a torn ACL, so you
got to get that fixed.
I have to get it fixed.
You're wearing a brace the whole time?
I don't own a brace, and I don't have health insurance.
That's not good.
So, I can go out and I can ride the skate park. I can still go to...
But you're kind of scared to do something big in case you never know.
What
are you comfortable with? Like just manuals, grinds?
I can still do tail whips and I can still do a backflip.
I wish I was fucking comfortable.
I can...
tail whips, you son of a bitch.
I love doing tail whips and it's, I can still...
Like bunny hop tail whips.
Not hop tail whips. The gentle ones.
You know what? Hey, so I'm about I'm going to say 6 to 7 years ahead of you. We still call it bunny hop. Now they call them hop.
Hop.
You don't say bunny hop anymore.
Mm-mm.
What the fuck, dude? It's bunny hop.
Dude, they shorten everything. So they don't call it an ice pick. They call it an ice. They don't call it
what the fuck?
Oh they don't call it a toothpick. They call it a tooth.
The one that I loved was a Fufunu?
Fufunu? A Bubica?
Bubica, yeah.
Yeah, it's
you still call that, right? Okay, all right.
There's kids who have bikes now that don't even have, they've never rode brakes, You
don't ride brakes?
I have a handful of bikes.
What do you think about brakes?
I love brakes.
Me too.
They're so fun.
Dude, I love it's scary
because
as shit
doing
to me.
foo-fanoos and like tail taps and all
Yeah,
that stuff's
dude.
really fun, you know?
With brakes, especially.
Yeah. I have like 4 bikes in the garage. I have like a brakeless
You still
bike.
have everything's fit?
Yeah. I have my Fit still.
Keep
I
the mic
built.
closer, please.
Sorry, I built up a T1 because I've always liked T1. You know,
You ride a bigger dirt jumper too, right?
and I have a 26-inch. That's
Okay.
just like a cruiser, and it's really fun.
But you do some crazy shit on that too.
I got a free coaster on it. Yeah, it's fun.
A free Oh, so my day, guys, back in my day, Standard made a free coaster that you put into a 36 spoke wheel. Was not strong, so you had to be careful, but it was only for flatland.
Mm-hmm.
So
You were big on flatland, right?
Yeah, I rode flatland
Yeah.
a lot. Well, I rode street and flatland.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that. I owned the skate shop with my buddy Anthony. That's my tournament partner. We rode flatland. We were buddies with like Sean McKenney, S&M dudes. Mike Escamilla lived by us.
The goat.
If you guys have ever listened to Justin Hill, he's a SoCal dude. He's a buddy of mine. We're friends now, but we rode together too. Code Green, another great guy. His brother-in-law rides for S&M. So back in my day, we had to take the hub apart, put the free coaster in.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be the problem.
It was a coaster.
So you had a coaster. It was a 36 spoke. I think it was like Sun something coaster.
Didn't it have like in like a coaster brake, but you
had
could take
to
it apart.
out, and you put the thing from Standard. They machined
Yeah,
a piece. So I
okay.
put it back in there. You would get an all thread fucking like half-inch
The
Standard.
3/8 axle.
Yeah, the big one, not the small one, the
Oh.
big half-inch.
Okay.
So it'd fit on there. This is the problem. Those fucking brakes would break on you. So you'd go to pedal, and there'd be fucking a whole
Full crank
tool
of slack.
crank, and you'd flip over the bars and fuck yourself up.
Oh
dude.
my god.
So I mean, I used to ride that, but you'd have to be careful. And then it got better. I mean, Primo came out with some shit. Primo had some hubs that were perfect. And then by the time I was 20, I quit. I was in bands, and I said, "Fuck, I'm done." But I wrote a lot of stuff with some good dudes, like really good guys. Huntington Beach used to be a lot of flatline dudes, but you'd, like we said, Miss Sean McKenney, Nate, big fucker. You remember who he is? He rode flatline and street.
Yeah.
Nate,
he was on Primo.
He had a big ponytail.
Yeah, I
Looked
know.
like a Viking dude.
He rode for DK.
Yes, big
God,
fucker.
What is his name? Nate. It starts with a W, right? Nate.
He's something weird, but he was a big motherfucker. Like, and he was good at flatline and good at street. Like,
Yeah.
good at everything.
God, that's gonna kill me. I can't think of his name.
So then we had him, and then we had all the S&M dudes we rode with. Like, I rode with Freddie Chulo.
Who was the one on S&M that is brakeless? Or not brakeless, pegless. He's a pegless flatlander. What's his name?
Now?
Yes.
Oh, I don't
But
know.
he's been around for a while.
I
No,
haven't-
he's not new school. He's like,
Trevor Meyer was the guy back in the day. He rode for GT.
was he pegless?
No, but he
that's-
was amazing.
There's a pegless flatlander.
There's dudes that ride straight now that I see them do. Okay, how about this? Nose manuals. Was that a thing then for you?
At now time or back
No,
then?
back then.
No.
No one did a fucking nose
No, 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 no.
Now everyone's fucking nose manualing. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I would never think of doing that.
Yeah. No,
I
they
did
can
it-
they can do nose manuals now like a manual. They could go.
Have you
with,
tried
like-
to do that?
No, I'm too tall. Like
Hey,
I feel like
hold
there's
on.
no tall people that do.
Hey, this is me and my friend Anthony. If you have a fat ass, you could manual far. I have a fat ass. I could manual far as
that good
fuck.
center of
Dude,
balance.
100%. I could manual forever.
Well, it's like short people and being able to do bar spins really
Dude,
good.
I can do them great, dude.
Yeah. And it's like my bar spins are sloppy,
Are they really?
but my tail whips are great because I can manhandle
Yeah,
a bike.
because you're fucking humongous.
Yeah.
It's like throwing a little fucking
It's
kid
like
bike under you.
a scooter or something.
No. What's the biggest tail whip stare you done?
Probably like a 12 set.
You tail whipped a 12 set of stairs.
Like a 12 set.
Are
yeah.
you fucking serious?
Yeah.
That's fucking huge, bro. Did it hurt?
Yeah.
Very bad?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like every tail whip hurts,
Really?
especially now.
What's the thing you're most proud of on BMX? Like something big you did? What are you known for? How about that?
Smith grind to tail whip.
On
Just anything.
what video was the one that made you kind of famous for?
Oh, I don't think that like a certain video made me famous.
Were you more? No,
But I was
it was
just
more Instagram then, huh?
No, definitely not Instagram.
No.
But I just had a solid crew of bike riders in the Austin scene, like Aaron Ross and Tom Dugan. Hung out at the T1 ramp all the time, like Joe Rich and Taj, and
Those are so Joe Rich and Taj are my era.
yeah,
So they're probably 45 now, right?
yeah.
At least.
Joe Rich is still getting it though.
They're good. Dude, Taj was amazing. Even watching that video on Dirty Deeds, his music, even on the Hoffman video, the music, yo, can I get a cold beverage? Dude, I listen to all the time, dude.
Was that Taj with dreads?
Yes,
Yeah.
dude, so fucking good, man.
Yeah.
So fucking good. Well, we're going to end this because we're going to eat. So let's do all our sponsors. Shout them out.
Leviathan Rods, thank you so much. Sprig, they hooked us up with some CB soda.
Yeah, you want to hold
Really,
it up?
really good. Oh yeah, let's put this in the camera. Shout out to Sprig. Thanks, guys. Amazing stuff. CBD is really good for your joint pain too.
It is.
For any of you bike riders
dude,
out there.
all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I mean all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone that's ever helped me out along the way, any guys who like encouraged me, motivated me, moved me along. Bait makers out there, you know who you are. Y'all are all super cool to me, and my wife for supporting me, letting me be who I am, even though it's difficult at time. Luke over here, my new pretty much best friend, even though we've only known each other for a little while. And I'm excited. I hope you guys really enjoy the video that we're putting together. We're going to be doing like a 2-part series. And here in the future, we might be coming to wherever you are.
Now we'll be promoting it too because I'm in it, so I'm gonna definitely be promoting it. And the footage they have of it is amazing, and you guys get to see us go out in the thickest fucking fog I've ever been.
It was sketchy this morning.
Yeah,
It
I was
spooky, man.
Hey, for reals, I was scared, and I'm like, I gotta look like a fucking tough guy. I was like, this is fucking bad, dude. I
we
would
couldn't
not
see
be
5
going
feet in
out
front
dude.
of us.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a great video. Hopefully, we can do a round 2 where I travel to you guys, or you guys come back here, or maybe we'll meet up north. Who
We're going to
knows?
Florida, right?
I think I'd like that.
Nice.
That'd be great. So, where can they get you at, Luke?
Me? Just Luke.
Talking to the
Brasher.
fucking mic.
Luke.Brasher.
You gotta be
Instagram,
promotional,
that's it.
guy. You're doing something cool now,
Man,
man.
I'm behind the scenes, man.
Nah.
Putting you
No,
guys
you're
on.
in it.
I'm gonna put you
Yeah.
guys
You're in
on.
it. You make us look good.
Yep. I can't wait to see the video. Thank you again, both of you guys.
Thank you for
I'm
having
glad I got
us.
you out on some
was-
sand bass and calico. So I
Absolutely,
love
man.
when freshwater dudes get to kind of get a taste. Thank you, of what we're doing. So it's kind of like going. It's a different thing, you know. Mm-hmm. It's like
No, totally.
I love largemouth, but catching a calico is like fuck, man. You know.
Yeah. No, it was amazing.
So all right, this should be out. I think,